There are also calls today for Ottawa to intervene in a standoff on a First Nation south of Hamilton, Ontario. Tensions in a long-running land dispute have boiled over once more, with a new confrontation flaring between Indigenous protesters and police.
Get in your car and go! Get in your car and go! Go!
So this was the scene at the protest site yesterday. Demonstrators hurled rocks. Police reportedly responded with rubber bullets. The clash happened after a judge granted an order for the permanent removal of a blockade established there by members of the Six Nations of the Grand River. This morning, demonstrators remain nearby. They are still determined to stop a housing project from going ahead on what they say is unceded territory seized more than 150 years ago. Jorge Barrera takes us to the scene.
So behind me right here are wooden pallets that are burning on the remains of what was a pretty sizable tire fire that was set ablaze on Thursday as part of a road blockade that was triggered by a skirmish between the Ontario Provincial Police and members of Six Nations.
Put your gun down! Put your gun down and go away! Go away! Go away!
Keep throwing them. Keep throwing those rocks.
Get the out of here!
Break it out.
So Six Nations members say that the Ontario Provincial Police used tasers and rubber bullets during this confrontation. Now, the Ontario Provincial Police says they used a, quote, appropriate non-lethal force after they were confronted by people who are connected to an ongoing land reclamation. Now, this land reclamation has been going on since July.
Another example of OPP coming in here with these violent acts of aggression against, people that are just occupying their traditional territory. And I think all of us are quite sick of it.
Now, just beyond this smoldering fire and this heavy machinery are OPP cruisers who have created a buffer zone between this blockade and Caledonia. Now, during the evening on Thursday, a handful of residents gathered around the cruisers to sort of watch what was going on. And I spoke to one who said he wanted to see Prime Minister Justin Trudeau step into this situation.
He blames the OPP, he blames the Ontario government, but deep down inside, this is a federal issue. And we're tired of it.
Hours before this flared up, an Ontario Superior Court justice granted a permanent injunction against the 1492 land back camp. The developer behind Mackenzie Meadows sought that injunction. And there's members of Six Nations who say that it's now time for the elected chief, Mark Hill, to play a bigger role in trying to find a peaceful solution to this still evolving situation. Jorge Barrera, CBC News, Caledonia, Ontario.